YouTube, what's up, man? Get your popcorn ready. This is going to be a special one. This is the untold story of a gambler. I never told this story to anyone, and this video goes out to everyone that has been through an addiction, how they fought through, and how they conquered it. So let's get into it. Man, where do I start? So let's start where it started. The first time I ever gambled. So my best friend and me were trying to figure out ways to make money, and we hopped online, and I'm talking about 17, 18 years ago. We started playing on online poker, and that's where everything went downhill from there. Everything started with online poker. We learned how to play, and that's where my love grew. My love grew for poker. My love grew for gambling right here. And from there, we started playing underground games. And it got crazy. We started playing at house games, underground games. And I'm not going to lie. I was working at Kohl's. And I remember every Friday when I was a young boy, every Friday I would take all my whole check. And we would go to these gambling games and these houses and these underground basements. It was crazy. I remember one time we went to a basement where it was all red leather carpet. It was like we were at this mafia basement, and there was like 5, 6 tables. There was a bar. Like, it was just beautiful. And just the fact that, and I know a lot of people have this, but it's a problem. It can be a problem. It can be not. But I have an addictive personality. So everything I touch, I get addicted to. But this story took me through some bad times, man. I'm not going to lie to y'all. And it started with the online gaming, then to the underground games in the basements. And then when I turned 21, I finally went to my first casino. I was so excited. It's my birthday. It's my boy's birthday. And we go to this poker room. And it's the biggest poker room I ever seen in my life. And I'm not going to lie. That day, I lost about $1,000. And poker is a thing where it's kind of like chess. You have to outsmart and outmaneuver your opponents. And that's why I think I fell in love with it, because you have to, kind of manipulate. You have to give false expressions. You have to tell stories and comments to make people think you have something when you don't. And I felt like it was just a battle of the mental mind. So that's why I fell in love with it. But over the years and over time, things started spiraling out of control. Everything turned into something so good and something so happy that I was doing that it turned into complete darkness. It turned to where I couldn't control. Every time I got paid, I would get my paychecks and just start dumping it. Every week, every Friday, every weekend, I started dumping my money into this poker. And I lost thousands and thousands before I gave up. And it was just sad, because this was something that I wanted to turn into like a career. You always see that movie. You always see that story where the gambler makes it and makes thousands and thousands and thousands and makes it to the top, gets the cars, gets the women, gets everything. And that's what I saw. So my favorite movie was Rounders. And that's what really made me fall in love with it. I'm like, man, I want to do this. I want to take this to another level. But a few years passed, and I couldn't do it no longer. I lost thousands, and I stopped for a little bit. But somehow I was always drawn back to the rush of winning money. I remember winning pots of $1,000. I remember winning pots of $800 at one shot. That was probably the best feeling in the world at the time. And I guess I wanted more and more of that, right? And I just kept chasing that. I kept chasing that rush. I kept chasing that adrenaline. So from there, eventually I had to stop for a little bit. And, I had friends that did it too. So that made it harder. And that's true. When you surround yourself with people that do this, and anything in life, drinking, smoking, gambling, anything in life, if you have a whole bunch of friends that are doing it, most likely you're going to end up doing it. So, and it's not that I'm blaming them, because I'm a grown-ass man and I make my own decisions, but a lot of my friends did do it. So I always turned back to it. We always talked about it. And eventually, man, we started taking it this further. We started going out to Atlantic City and hitting the Taj and hitting the Caesar and hitting the Tropicanas. And we would go on road trips, 3 hours, and we tried to make this thing a real career. So I gave it everything I had. I read the books, I watched the videos, I watched the movies, and I still couldn't do it. And I just have that addictive personality, and it just kept making me go back. No matter how much money I lost, I didn't want to stop fighting back for my money. And then over time, I changed my gambling habits into blackjack. And that was a whole nother game. And I fell in love with that as well. And my games got crazy. It started with $5 games, $5 hands, $10 hands, to the point where I started playing $200 hands in blackjack, and it just got out of control. I started losing more every paycheck I lost, to the point where my bank account was zero. But I couldn't give up. I tried to find ways to get my hands, I tried to find ways to get a hold of money, and I just kept dumping it and dumping it and dumping it. And as the years went on, from 18 to my mid-20s, I lost so much, I lost count. To this day, I'm thinking I probably lost about like $50,000, no lie. And you know, it hurts reminiscing about this, but I just want to tell this story because eventually I had to figure out how to stop this. But in my mid-20s, I tried sports betting. I gave my all into sports betting. I gave my all into blackjack. I gave my all into poker. No matter what direction I took, I lost money. I kept losing. No matter how much knowledge I tried to attain and to get better in, I had moments. Don't get me wrong. I had great moments in gambling, but they didn't last too long. It's like being on a roller coaster. They go up and down. It's an up and down battle. One day you win thousands, another day you lose thousands. I just couldn't control my emotions, and that's what gambling does, and that's how I got destroyed. So shit, by the time I was 30, man, I still was gambling, and I turned my attention from house games to basement games to casinos, back to online, because back then, 15, 17, it was difficult to gamble. And now, at this point in this generation, they make it so easy. They're always promoting it. It's easy access now. Back then, we had to transfer Bitcoin in the dark web to even try to gamble some poker, some blackjack. And now they make it so accessible, and celebrities are promoting this shit, but they don't understand how this is destroying lives and families. So I gambled all the way up to about 37 years old. No, I'm gonna say I gambled up to like 36. I haven't gambled again for like 2 years, but I just remember all the hard times and all the hard times I drove home, just dropping tears, letting down my families, letting down my kids, because I knew every time I went out there, it was a risk that I was losing this money and it would hurt my family. And I would be on a so much higher level in life right now if I'd never gambled. I'm not gonna lie. But it was just, I was always looking for that adrenaline rush. I was always looking for that high. I was always looking for that fast money. And you know what they say, fast money don't last too long. You gotta pace that shit, man. You gotta build that shit. And when you're trying to chase that adrenaline rush, the emotions get the best of you. It's just crazy how there was times where I would go to the casino and I felt like I was living a dream. I felt like I was living the life. I would go down and watch the horses race, and I would go in the mornings, and once the horses were done, I was eating breakfast. I felt like a big time boss. I would go to the tables. People started getting to know me. I got better over time. I feel like I did get good in poker, but I couldn't sustain my emotions to let me get to that higher level. And that's what gambling does. They set everything up. You know, they make the windows dark because they don't want you to see the time. They want you to forget time. They make it cold. That way you don't move. There's so many things that they do to keep you at the casino. And the longer you stay, the higher chance you're going to lose your money. And that's what happened. That's what happens all the time, you know? So no matter how much effort you put into gambling, watching the videos, man, I watched the illest story of a blackjack documentary, and that's how I fell in love with blackjack. He went across country and he won like $500,000. He knew how to count cards, and I was like, man, I want that shit. So I kept chasing it and chasing it and chasing it and chasing it to the point where I destroyed my life. I had no more money. And eventually it got so bad that I pulled out a $17,000 loan one time and I gave my all again. I put all my money and I ended up losing that shit. And that's when it hurt me the most. It really hurt me the most. I lost $17,000 and I couldn't forget. I was driving home one night and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. I let myself so bad down that I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to kill myself. I was just in such a dark place. I lost so much money chasing it that my heart just couldn't take it no more. Mentally, it was exhausting. Gambling is so stressful. And that's what I'm trying to preach. I don't want you guys to go down this road. So for the people that haven't gone down this road, please don't, man. This shit crushed me. You know, there was times where I couldn't even get my kids the things that they wanted because of this. And just thinking back about all the times and all the places where I gambled and looking back at all the faces and all the friends I have, they're not even around no more. You know, I don't know where they're at, the people that I did gamble with. But this just hurt me so bad. And after I lost that $17,000, I didn't know where to turn. I started Ubering to try to get another dollar. I remember Ubering on the holidays, on Christmases and Thanksgivings in the middle of the night when everybody was celebrating. I was out there trying to make another dollar in the middle of winter. And I used to drop tears because I just couldn't believe that I put myself in this fucking situation, man. And just looking back, like I said, it's been over 2 years since I gambled another dollar. I'm 38 now. And it was about like 35, 36 when I just completely stopped. I tell the friends that I know now that do it to please stop, because I know where this turns into. Some people can control it, but I couldn't. I couldn't control it. It just turned into, I just can't explain it, what it turned into. But after that 17K, I started to ask people for money just so I can make it. And the last straw for me, the last straw, after all these fucking years, after all these years of gambling and asking people for money and losing that 17K and losing thousands and thousands through all my like 18 years of gambling, this one hurt me the most. I turned to my mom and she gave me like $300, man. And I needed to pay something. I forgot what it was, but I was able to. And my fucking dumbass decided to give blackjack one last chance. I had no money. My bank account said zero. Somebody handed me $300. And this is after so long of experience this and not learning. It was around Christmas, I remember. And I lost that $300. My mom gave me that fucking money and it broke my heart that I took that and lost it. And that was it. I was such in a dark place. And I risked everything I had in my life. I gave this gambling thing a real opportunity, a real shot. But it just turned evil. It just put me in a dark place. And once I lost my money, when my mom gave me that the last time, I remember, that's it. I came home. I was fucking miserable. I didn't want to talk to anybody no more. I pushed myself away from everybody I loved because I knew I let myself down. I let my family down. I let the world down. I let everybody that I felt that was important down because they didn't know what I was doing. But, you know, I feel like people look up to you. And there was nobody to look up to. There was nobody that looked up to me. I threw away my fucking life to this shit. And I couldn't believe it. But after that moment, I ended up blocking myself from every internet, everything on the internet. The DraftKings, sports betting, FanDuel. In order to stop, I had to block myself. I blocked myself on everyone for over a year. And I'm not going to lie, I had urges and I had, you know, I wanted to eventually, you still have that urge sometimes. But from there on out, man, I never went back. I made myself a promise that I would never do that to myself again. I made my family a promise that they didn't hear, but to let my family down like that ever again. I would never do that shit ever again. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel amazing now. I don't gamble no more. I changed my whole life for the better. Basically to upgrade myself into a better man. My kids are watching me, and every move I make, they see. And they're gonna take that on into the next life. Once they leave, once they turn into teenagers, or once they decide to leave, they're watching every move I make. And I made myself a promise to, if they're watching me, every move I make from that point on was to be better, a better fucking man. This shit hurts. I never told this story to anybody, but I don't ever want to go back to that darkness. I don't ever want to go back to that place ever again. My purpose is not that. I was just trying to make fast money in that adrenaline rush. And I was just looking for a rush. But I had to put that shit down, man. And I hope that anybody that's watching this video puts that shit down too. Please don't go down that path where you destroy yourself, your family, your loved ones. Gambling is evil. It's cool if some people do it for the fun. They go out once in a while, whatever. But me, I have an addictive personality, and I had to put it down for good. So I just wanted everybody to hear my story. I don't want nobody to feel bad for me because I'm in a better place now. Trust me, I'm in a better place. But it hurts to think about, but I also have to be proud of myself how long I came. So I love everybody watching this channel, supporting me. You know, this shit was hard to tell. I never told this story to anybody. I don't know if close people to me even know this story, but I just want to say, man, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Summer comes by too fast and goes too fast. So until the next video, L2Y, loyal to yourself. Take care of your body, mind, soul. Let's do it.